What's up top 10 fam, hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host Ayman Hassan and welcome back to another video. Now I was so excited to do this video despite it being morbid as hell. Do not think I'm creepy you guys, I just am the way I am. I've always been into psychology and knowing how and why we think the way we do, and I think the idea of a person just snapping or losing control out of nowhere is something that just I'm like, wow, how even did that happen? So enough of me talking, let's just get the hell into it. These are the top 10 scary times people lost control. Starting us off at number 10 is the FBI's most wanted list. Get your popcorn ready guys, this is a juicy one. Juicy in a bad way, just making it clear. So back in March of 1976, William Bradford Bishop Jr. was having a horrible day because he had been just passed over for a promotion at the State Department. That day when he got home, he grabbed a hammer and bludgeoned his wife, mother, and 3 sons to death. Literally for no reason. His sons were sleeping, even the youngest one was 5 for God's sake. The next day he was seen walking the family dog as normal, and that was the last time anyone ever saw him, and he's been on the FBI's most wanted list ever since. His medical history revealed he suffered from depression, and I mean fair enough, so do I. You know, you don't see me losing it and bludgeoning my family to death. Like that is not an excuse, just saying. Coming in at number 9 is change. I don't even get this one, I don't know how someone can just snap like that, but I guess everyone has a breaking point, right? So back in July of 2013 in Pennsylvania, 21-year-old Dale Wakefield was out celebrating his 21st birthday. Finally legal, your 21st is a big deal, you just start doing everything legally that you've been doing illegally since 16. We love it. So as Dale and his sister were walking by a train station, 71-year-old homeless veteran George Moore stopped the two to ask for some change. Which is quite a common occurrence, I mean, come on now. Homeless people, they ask for change. That's how it goes. Anyway, they said no to giving him change, after which George muttered some insult under his breath directed at Dale, and then according to his sister, he just snapped. Dale got out his pocket knife and then proceeded to stab George 70+ times, which he somehow survived in the moment but then passed away from 3 days later. And mind you, Dale had absolutely zero criminal record before this incident, so it's like, how did you just lose control like that? Maybe he was intoxicated, I don't know, but still that just boggles my mind. Doesn't it boggle yours? Tell me if it boggles your mind. Boggle. What a funny word. At number 8 we have the tenor. Now back when I was in university, and I'm saying it like it was so long ago, it was literally last year. Anyway, there were so many tenured profs that I loved, and some that I was like, how are you even tenured? You are absolutely crap at your job. And when you're a tenured professor, that basically means you're technically at no risk of losing your job or being fired unless there are extraordinary circumstances at play. So with that in mind, back in Feb of 2012, Amy Bishop, a neurobiologist at the University of Alabama, had been denied tenure a year prior. She spent the next year appealing the decision, which was eventually denied again. One afternoon while a staff meeting was going on that Amy was attending that she didn't actually have to be attending was finishing, she pulled out a 9mm pistol and shot her department chair Gopi Padilla straight in the head. She then opened fire on the whole room, killing 3 other people and wounding many others. She was caught by a sheriff's deputy while trying to escape the building and was promptly arrested. Amy had no previous record whatsoever and did not fit the profile of a mass shooter, because apparently they're just all lone wolves, unless they're Muslim, which then they're a terrorist. Haha. Anyway, people just assume that the denial of her tenureship pushed her over the edge, but I mean, come on, surely there must have been something else going on at the surface, like, you can't just shoot people because you didn't get a promotion. Come on now, Amy. Filling at number 7 slot is the Exterminator. Not the Terminator, but the Exterminator. Ha ha ha, tis. So back in Jan of 2013, Jason Smith, a Bucks County exterminator, was called to Dr. Melissa Ketunuti's home to get rid of her rodent problem, and I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Smith shared that he got to her house and set up in the basement. The two then got into a small disagreement over the method Jason would use to get rid of the rats, and things just went haywire after that. Jason claimed he just snapped in that moment and hit her on the head, knocking her to the ground. He then strangled her with a rope, tied her feet and arms behind her back, at which point Melissa had already died. He then freaked out over this dead body and tried to hide the evidence by burning her body using a liquid accelerant. Like, there's just so much going on in the story right now. Smith only had minor traffic violations on his record beforehand, so this really genuinely came out of nowhere. He was probably just going on his way, doing his normal job, and he was like, wait! What just happened? I just killed someone. Now at number 6 is the doctor. So this was shared by an anonymous user on Reddit who used to work with this ER doctor who had chronic back pain. God, I know the feel. I'm only 22, but I got chronic back pain too. That's my alter ego. What's her name? Mitzi. My alter ego Mitzi. Anyway, thankfully the doctor had managed to get the hospital to buy him a special chair for his back so he could cope, and all was well and good. One day a bunch of police officers walked in with a person who wanted to report an assault at the hospital. The doctor was with another patient when this happened, and when he got back to his office, an officer was sitting in his special chair. Now the doctor politely explained the chair situation and asked him to switch seats, and the cop replied saying he was a cop and that he could sit wherever he wanted and that the doctor would just have to sit somewhere else. This normally calm as hell doctor then had the fire of hell in his eyes and straight up punched the cop straight in the jaw. Straight for it. He was obviously jumped by all the other cops after that, got a felony charge, and lost his job. Was it worth it, bro? Over a chair? Was it really worth it, bro? Come on, bro. Coming in at number 5 is the spinach incident. This was shared by an anonymous user on Reddit as well, who shared that when she was about 6 or 7 years old, she and her younger sister were in the living room just chilling, watching some cartoons. When life was simple and all you did was watch cartoons. Anyway, her mum walked in carrying 2 plates of spinach, like that's it, not spinach and something else, just straight up spinach. She then tells the 2 girls to eat it, and the user's younger sister complained about how she didn't want to eat the spinach. At that moment, the mum just went off and pounced on the little sister. She grabbed a fistful of her hair and pulled her head back while shoving spinach into her mouth with the other hand. And the whole time she was screaming, "Eat it, I made it, so you're going to eat it." Like, can you just imagine the position the mum and daughter were in while this was happening? Like, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's probably traumatic. The girl probably never ate spinach the rest of her life. Probably every time spinach was coming towards her in a restaurant, she was like, "Not again. I can't deal with this again." At number 4 is no reason, and when I tell you there was truly no reason, I'm not even kidding you with this one. So back in June of 2014, around 2:30 AM, 12-year-old Sharon Townsend was walking in a car park with his friend when the two came upon 54-year-old homeless man Thomas Trent. As they passed him, Sharon literally just pulls out a gun and shoots Thomas straight in the head, completely unprovoked, unmotivated, with zero reason. Thomas didn't even ask them for money, he was literally just standing there existing. I literally don't even know what to say about this one. Like, who walks through a car park or anywhere at the infantile age of 12 and decides, wait a minute, let me just shoot someone for jokes? Just for jokes. Come on now. Come on now. You know better, Shannon. Filling on number 3 slot is the bully. On a nice sunny morning back in November of 2015, Fred Fleener III decided to straight up shoot his 22-year-old son, Fred Fleener IV. When the police got there, Fred III claimed he just snapped and that he couldn't take it anymore. Fred IV had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was prone to extremely violent outbursts, which resulted in him constantly abusing his father and his family. That morning, Fred III had sent his daughter out to get some breakfast platters for the family, and when she got back, Fred IV was mad as hell that he got 1 platter instead of 2. Fred IV then threw something at his cousin before Fred III jumped into his defense. The fight ended up in him shooting his son twice in the chest with no one else in the house harmed. They called the police and ambulance immediately. Fred IV died in the hospital, and Fred III was arrested for voluntary manslaughter. And as sad as the story is with someone dying, although they were a bully, so it's like, did they deserve it? No, obviously no one deserves to die. I mean, unless you're like a serial killer rapist. But can we just talk about their names? Fred Fleener III and IV? Is this a joke? Now at number 2 is the ex-fiance. This is a salty one for sure. Exes always are, you guys. Not me though. So back in 2014, Robert Cromwell had planned a really romantic dinner with his ex-fiance Casey Lynn in an attempt to ease her into getting back together. But at dinner, Casey admitted she had met someone else, and Robert was apparently fine with it on the surface. They went home as they were still living together, and after Casey fell asleep, Robert started looking through her phone. There's always gonna be nothing but pain there, buddy. Just don't do it. I assure you, nothing but pain. He found messages to the man she had mentioned, as well as other explicit messages to a man she hadn't mentioned. Then, out of nowhere, Robert went and got an aluminium baseball bat and hit her in the head 4 times, killing her on the spot. Can you imagine? Like, within a 4-hour period, this man went from wanting to get re-engaged to this woman to murdering her. And people say women are psycho. Have you seen this man? And finally, at number 1 is the on-air snap. I don't know how I never heard about this story when it happened, because this was just insane. So back in June of 2015, Bryce Williams, a former employee of a TV station in Roanoke, lost his head, and I mean he lost it. While on-air personality Allison Parker was filming a live broadcast for the station, Williams just came and shot both her and the cameraman Adam Ward on the live broadcast. Like, you can see Allison getting shot. It's actually horrendous, and then the camera goes off because Adam is presumably shot at that point as well. He claimed the burning down of a church in Charleston due to racial prejudice is what pushed him over the edge. But Allison and Adam had literally nothing to do with that, yet he decided to shoot them of all people. Okay. And that's it for today's video, guys. I'm still so intrigued. Like, I really don't know how people break a fuse like that. It's literally like a part of their brain just breaks or glitches and they just do something horrendous. Which story was the scariest in your opinion, you guys? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, I'm your host, Ayman Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ayman Hassan and Mitzi will catch you in the next one. Bye. Producer Chris doesn't think it's aluminium. I know it's not. You guys say aluminum. Well, I'm not Mitzi right now, right? It's aluminium. Can you imagine? I was sad that day. Had to commit some murders. Sad boy self-care. As if! Tee hee hee. Ah, when life was simple and all you did was watch cartoon. Ah, when